Hello and welcome back to Atlas Pangaea. I'm History Wes. Today we're going to take a look around the third town in the Atlas Pangaea remake. This town is called Marwood, and much of the architecture is based on the Mojang book, Exploded Builds Medieval Fortress, but some of it's come from other places and some of it I've worked out on my own. This first big building here is a warehouse. The layout inside is based very roughly on the warehouses that are built by Wells Knight. I'll put a description in the notes below, a link. I worked very hard on coming up with a roof for this building, which I'm very proud of. And right next to it is another Wells Knight creation, and this is the super smelter. And this is straight from his 15-minute build tutorial, although I changed the materials. He used brick and I used stone brick, so to fit with the style of the rest of the builds on the village. You put the things in the top that you want smelted and fuel in the bottom carts, and you can see here that everything gets sorted through all these different smelters, and it really works fast. Right across the way here is this tall little building, and the purple windows might give you a hint that this is where the nether portal is. There it is in the bottom level. It's only accessible by this ladder. Excuse me. And looking over the marketplace here, which we'll see in just a minute. I wanted to, rather than build a whole lot of separate buildings that were stores or shops, I wanted a marketplace in this town, because the word town actually originates meaning marketplace. And this right here is the inn. You saw the little bed symbol above. Down below we have the tap room. The second floor we have private rooms. And up on the third floor we have a common room. This is pretty tight fit, and this reflects the fact that A, nobody's actually going to be using this, and B, it's pretty realistic to a medieval inn. And right next door is the stable. This one's a very simple one, just a space for a couple of horses. It does have an upstairs loft that I didn't show, but there's nothing up there but hay. We got a couple of buildings that are originals, one modified, and one that's still going to be torn down. And right next to that we have this two-story house. It's a pretty standard house, except that it has a little balcony overlooking the marketplace. There are two statues there. The lore of this place is that a married couple, Roland and Parvati, arrived and established order here. Roland's going to have a fortress or a castle. Parvati has a tower. And here's the marketplace. We have an armor smith, a fisherman. Here we have our automatic chicken cooker. I want to have lots of redstone devices and equipment here to reflect the fact that Parvati is supposed to be a redstone sorceress. Here we have a farmer and a shepherd selling wool, and a weapons master and a seller of leather goods. There is one other leather maker shop across the way. I was going to make it into a butcher shop, but the butcher got killed by zombies. And here is our library. We've got our two librarians and the enchantment books from all over, all the different towns brought here and sorted. And right across here is the church. If you notice, the floor is actually made up of Furnaces. I was going to make it larger originally, but this fit the space that I had for it. So the very first house that I built here, this comes right from the Mojang book. A typical farmhouse, A-frame farmhouse. And then up at the top of the hill, we have the walls. Eventually, the walls will circle the entire town, of course. And there are a series of towers connecting the walls. Each one is slightly different. This one, I wish I would gotten a better look at the top. This one has a roof on it. The next one doesn't. And we'll go to the top of the tower with no roof, the tall tower we call it, because it's taller than the nearby tower in the same style. And what's this place good for? Well, it's good for hunting phantoms, which I did the other day. And there we go. Killed some phantoms and recovered some phantom membranes, which you now need in order to repair an elytra. And in the distance there you can see the obsidian tower, the short tower, and in the center of the screen, the very tall tower is Parvati's redstone tower. That's based on a tutorial by Jaracraft, which I'll also put a link to in the description. I always have a problem going downstairs. The wall has arrow slits along the side. It's 2 stories in parts. 3 stories actually, if you consider the top. And here we come out in the near Parvati's tower. We have a little sitting room in the bottom. Used a couple of my end rods for lights. I've still got a lot more. She's a redstone master, so there are lots of redstone devices, including a light, a dispenser. This is the dining room, so it dispenses food. It has a retractable table. Then we go up the ladder to the next floor, and here we have the library, enchanting table, redstone work area, and the potion brewing area. It's actually a surprising amount of room up there. And finally, in the top floor, we have her bedroom. So that's a quick tour of the town of Marwood so far. The next video that I post from this series will be some construction of this area. Still got a lot to do, including the fortress. So have a great day. Thanks for watching. Happy Minecrafting.